What I'm about to share with you will completely change how you see every painting, song, film, any work of art that you ever encounter. I spent the last few years obsessively taking notes on creativity from books, interviews, research studies, you name it. And what I discovered will explain why a simple painting can move you to tears, why a song can heal something broken inside of you, and why deep down you feel a burning need to create. But first, let me ask you something. What does art mean? Not the textbook definition, not what critics say, not what galleries, the Oscars, or the Grammys decide is worthy. Look, after years of studying creativity, I realized that the common belief of what art means is entirely wrong, and the answer will open your mind. Last year, I went to one of the largest art shows in the world called Art Basel. There were thousands of pieces screaming for everybody's attention. And as I walked through the maze of galleries, I saw a woman standing perfectly still in front of a large abstract painting. She wasn't glancing, she wasn't browsing, she was frozen. And so I followed her gaze to see what she was looking at, and I saw the artwork. And I stared at it for a few minutes, and deep down, I felt absolutely nothing. It was just another piece that I didn't get. But something about her stillness made me curious, so I asked her, "What do you see in this painting?" And she turned to me and with bright eyes, she said, "I walked through every piece in this show today, and this one is my favorite one." I looked back at the painting and I still didn't understand what I was seeing. Then she tells me a story that changed everything. She explained that the artist didn't just paint this canvas, she wrapped it around a living tree. And for years, as the tree grew, the canvas stretched, and the paint cracked, and the surface rippled and changed. Every mark on that canvas was made by time itself. Every crack was the tree breathing. Every ripple was the tree expanding. I looked back at the painting, and suddenly I didn't see paint anymore. I saw years passing. I saw seasons changing. I saw something alive becoming more alive. I no longer saw painting. I saw life. I felt time, and that was beautiful. And that moment rewired my brain. I realized something simple, but life changing. Art isn't just decoration or entertainment or even beauty, it's something far deeper. Art is a translation device. Think about this with me for a second. You have an entire universe inside of your head. Galaxies of thought spinning in silence, oceans of feeling that no one else can see, memories that live in colors that don't even have names, and dreams that speak languages only you can understand. And all of this is bundled into experiences that are completely invisible to everyone else because they only exist in you. So, how do you get your experiences out? How do you make the invisible visible? Well, the book Reality Hunter says that the purpose of art is to impart the sensation of things as they are perceived and not as they are known. As in, you can't hand someone your loneliness. You can't show them your childhood wonder. You can't give them your hope. But you can paint it. You can sing it. You can write it. You can dance it into existence. Art is how we take the untranslatable and translate it, the unspeakable and speak it, the unseeable and see it. Van Gogh couldn't hand you his loneliness, so he painted it in swirls of starlight and sorrow. Beethoven, he couldn't give you his rage against the dying of his hearing, so he composed it into symphonies that still make us weep. Charlie Chaplin couldn't explain poverty and loneliness, so he made the whole world laugh until it cried. And when I struggle to comprehend the otherworldly experience of loving my wife, I write poetry until I sculpt the words into a snapshot of our relationship. In the book Creativity, there's actually a paragraph that encapsulates this well. It talks about books, but it relates to all forms of art. It says, What makes words so powerful is that they enrich life by expanding the range of individual experience. Without stories and books, we would be limited to knowing only what has happened to us or to those whom we have met. With books, we can join Herodotus during his travels to Egypt, or be with Lewis and Clark on their epic journey to the Pacific, or imagine what it might be like to travel beyond our galaxy a few hundred years hence. But more important, the written word allows us to understand better what is happening within ourselves. Words like that reminds me that every piece of art is someone saying, "Here, let me show you what it's like to be me." Man, like when you really look, something inside of you recognizes itself when you look at art. A chord strikes, a door opens, a light turns on. You realize that you are not alone in your beautiful, broken, blazing humanity. Art proves that we're not isolated islands. We're connected by invisible threads of a shared humanity. But that's just the beginning, because art doesn't just translate individual experience, it does something even more profound, something that will change how you see your own creative work forever. Art doesn't just translate your story, it translates our story. The story of what it means to be human, right here, right now, in this moment in history. Every generation creates art that captures what it feels like to be alive in that era. The anxieties, the hopes, the questions, the struggles. Medieval art obsessed with the divine because people were trying to understand their place in God's universe. Renaissance art celebrated human potential because people were discovering what humans could achieve. Modern art broke all rules because people lived through world wars and nothing made sense anymore. And our art today is trying to figure out what it means to be human in a digital age where everything is connected, but everyone feels disconnected. Art is humanity's real time diary. And here's the crazy part: when you create something, you're not just expressing yourself, you're contributing to that diary. You're helping translate what it means to be human right now in this weird, wonderful, chaotic moment in history. This actually reminds me of a passage in Create or Die about this, and here's what it said. The fairy tales, plays, songs, paintings, and other forms of art from the past to give us a glimpse into who we once were. The artifacts we investigate are all preserved art from the past. That means the art of today will become the artifacts of tomorrow. It's our footprint in the sand of human history that preserves the stories of our time. When you create something new, you're contributing to our story. Protect your creations to secure your place in the shared human consciousness. I just love that. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you would like access to all my notes on creativity from the last 4 years, all my insights, just tap the link in the description and tell me where I should send them. All right, now answer this. Have you ever visited a museum and saw a piece of art and thought, I barely understand any of this art? Like, I look at it and I feel nothing. Well, here's what I wish someone had told me years ago. You don't have to understand art to let it work on you. In The Creative Act, Rick Rubin said, much of art's greatness is felt on a gut level. Art isn't a puzzle to solve. Art isn't a test you pass or fail. Art isn't a code you crack. It's an experience to have. You know that song that reaches inside your chest and rearranges something? You don't analyze it, you feel it. And that photograph that stops you cold and makes you see the world differently. You don't decode it, you just receive it. Anatole France once said, in art, as in love, instinct is enough. Art bypasses your thinking mind and speaks directly to your feeling mind. It doesn't ask for your analysis, it asks for your presence. The people who get art aren't smarter or more sophisticated, they're just more willing to feel. But here's the thing that will change everything for you as a creator: art doesn't just mean something, art makes meaning. I go deeper on how artists make meaning in another video that's titled, "This is Why You Make Art." It's one of my biggest videos on this channel, so if you haven't seen it, I recommend that you check it out. Because when you create, you're not just expressing what already exists inside of you, you're discovering what exists inside of you. How many times have you started writing or drawing or singing without knowing where it would go and surprised yourself with what came out? The book, Still Like an Artist, says that it's in the act of making things and doing our work that we figure out who we are. That's because in the act of creating, it's an act of becoming. You know who you are by making something that didn't exist before. Every time you create, you're answering the question, what does it mean to be me right now in this moment? And every time someone experiences your art, they're asking, what does it mean to be human? This is why art matters. This is why we need it. This is why every culture in history has painted on walls and sung around fires and told stories under stars. Not because it's pretty, not because it's impressive, but because it's how we figure out what it means to be alive. Art is meaning making in real time. So when someone asks you what art means, tell them this: art means you're not alone. Art means your feelings matter. Art means the invisible parts of you can become visible. Art means that you have something worth saying. Art means someone else will understand. Art means being human is worth exploring. And if you create, whether it's a painting, a song, a dance, a poem, a photograph, anything, you're participating in the most fundamental human activity: making meaning from chaos, connection from isolation, beauty from pain. You're saying, I was here, I felt this mattered. That's what makes art meaningful. So create something, not because the world needs more art, even though it does, but because you need to discover what it means to be you. Your inner world deserves to be translated. Your experience deserves to be shared. Your meaning deserves to be made. The world is waiting to understand exactly what it feels like to be you. So go and show them.